Good morning guys, welcome to the Tungal online classes. In the last class we were discussing about the methods of preparation of aldehydes and ketones, and in this class we are going to start the discussion about the properties of aldehydes and ketones. Okay, we will see the properties of aldehydes and ketones. Properties of aldehydes and ketones. Basically we are going to discuss properties in two categories, that is physical properties as well as chemical properties. Chemical properties, right? Now we'll start the discussion with the first one, physical properties. Physical properties of aldehydes and ketones. Right? What is the major difference between the physical properties and chemical properties? The physical properties basically depends upon the molecular mass, molecular formula, molecular mass of the compound. As the number of carbons increases, the magnitude of the physical property changes. Whereas chemical properties mainly depends upon the function group. Okay, if the function group remains same, the nature of the chemical property will remain same. So basically the physical properties that we are going to discuss are physical state, color, solubility, melting point, boiling point, density, etc. comes under the physical properties. Okay, we will discuss one by one. The first one is the state. Okay, if you are talking about the physical state, the physical property that we are going to discuss about the physical state. Okay, among the aldehydes and ketones, if you are talking about the aldehydes, the first member of the aldehyde, which is called as formaldehyde, or we call it as methanol. Okay, the first member of aldehydes, that is formaldehyde is a colorless gas. What is it? Colorless gas it is. And next 10 members of aldehydes are colorless liquids, and higher members of the family, are solids. That is the second member, that is ethanol or acetaldehyde. Okay, is a volatile liquid, right? And the other members up to the aldehydes up to the C11 carbons, okay, are generally said to be what? Liquids, colorless liquids. The first member, that is formaldehyde, is a gas. If you are talking about the ketones, among the ketones, the first ketones up to 11 carbons, or we generally say C11, are colorless volatile liquids, and higher members are solids. This is about the physical state of aldehydes and ketones. Okay, the first member of aldehyde is only the one gaseous substance among the aldehydes and ketones, and the second member of aldehyde, ethanol, is a volatile liquid, and the next 10 members after the formaldehyde are colorless liquids. Whereas in the ketonic series there are no gases, or the first 11 members, okay, that is ketones up to C11 carbons are found to be colorless liquids, and higher members are found to be solids. This is about the physical state of the aldehydes and ketones. If you are talking about the second property, that is boiling point and melting point. Okay, if you are talking about the boiling point of aldehydes and ketones, right? The boiling point of aldehydes and ketones, aldehydes and ketones are, the boiling points of aldehydes and ketones are higher than corresponding hydrocarbons and ethers, due to dipolar nature, greater dipolar nature. What is mean by this? Hydrocarbons are non-polar, ethers are also polar due to the greater dipolar nature. Right? What is mean by this? If you observe the carbonyl group, it consists, okay, a double bond between carbon and oxygen. We know that oxygen is more electronegative than carbon. Because of that, it gets a partial negative charge. Carbon has a partial positive charge. This is we call polarization. Because of the polarization, there is a permanent dipole moment, okay, which is responsible for the greater, okay, polar interactions between the molecules of aldehydes and ketones. That leads to the greater boiling point of aldehydes and ketones of comparable. If you compare with the comparable molecular masses of hydrocarbons and ether, the boiling point of aldehydes and ketones is greater than the hydrocarbons and ethers, okay. And among this, boiling point of aldehydes and ketones increases with increase in number of carbons, okay. What we can say, boiling point will be directly proportional to what? Molecular mass of the compounds among the aldehydes and ketones. But the boiling points of aldehydes and ketones are less than corresponding. What is mean by this corresponding alcohols? If you compare the boiling point of aldehydes and ketones of comparable molecular mass of alcohols, if you compare any boiling point of aldehydes and ketones with that of the comparable molecular mass of alcohols, the boiling point of ketones and aldehydes are found to be less than the alcohols, because alcohols contains hydrogen bonding. Because of that reason, the boiling point of alcohols is found to be greater than the aldehydes and ketones. General order will be, if you are writing the increasing order of boiling point, okay, the boiling point order will be, hydrocarbons are found to be least boiling point, followed by, what you can say, followed by ethers, followed by aldehydes and ketones, and followed by, what is this? It will be alcohols and carboxylic acids. It will go like that. This is the increasing order of boiling point of various organic compounds, right? This is where this carbonyl compounds lies, okay. Of comparable, if you are talking of, for example, let us see this comparable molecular masses of aldehydes, ketones and hydrocarbons. Here we take a molecule, here we take a boiling point, here we take a molecular mass. Let us see few examples in order to understand this in a better way. Suppose if you are taking n-butane. What is n-butane? The structure of n-butane will be CH3, CH2, CH2 and CH3, okay. Its boiling point is 273 Kelvin, and if you talk about its molecular mass, 58. And if you are talking about the ethyl methyl ether, the structure of ethyl methyl ether is, this is the structure of ethyl methyl ether. Its boiling point is 281 Kelvin, and if you are talking about its molecular mass, 60. And if you are talking about the propanol, the structure of propanol is CH3, CH2, CHO, right? Its boiling point is 322 Kelvin and its molecular mass is 58, right? Propanol, the structure of propanol is, this is the structure of propanol. Its boiling point is 227 Kelvin, and its molecular mass is 58. If you are talking about propanol, that is a CH3 CH2 CH2OH, its boiling point is 370 Kelvin and its molecular mass is 60. Now let us see, these are molecules of comparable molecular mass. Okay, these are the molecules of comparable molecular mass. See here, N-butane, propanol and propanol are having the same molecular mass, that is 58, 58, 58. Even though they are having, these are called molecules of comparable molecular mass. So even though all of three are having the same molecular mass, but the boiling point of butane is found to be 273 Kelvin, which is the least among, and the boiling point of propanol is found to be 332, and the boiling point of propanol is found to be 327. Okay, see, the boiling point of aldehydes and ketones are greater than boiling point of comparable molecules of hydrocarbons and ethers. Ether, this is ethyl methyl ether, which is having a molecular mass of 60, which is greater than the propanol and propanone, but the boiling point is found to be how much here, 281. Okay, this is the meaning of it. Okay, when you are comparing boiling points of molecules with comparable molecular masses, among this, okay, what is the order? Hydrocarbon followed by ether, followed by aldehyde, followed by alcohols. This is an increasing order of. What is the reason for the highest boiling point for alcohols? Because alcohols forms hydrogen bonding. Okay, and since this aldehydes and ketones are having a greater dipole moment, because of that permanent dipole moment, their boiling point is somewhat greater than the comparable hydrocarbons and ethers. Okay, this is about the boiling point and melting point of the aldehydes and ketones. Hope it is clear so far. We will move to the next property. If you are talking about the solubility, the third one is solubility. Right, basically lower members, that means first members, lower members of aldehydes and ketones are soluble in water due to hydrogen bonding. Due to hydrogen bonding. What is mean by hydrogen bonding? What is the general formula of aldehydes and ketones? They contain a carbonyl group, and we know that the carbonyl group contains charge separation in this manner. Now when you dissolve any compound of this lower members of aldehydes and ketones in water, basically water is also a polar substance where charge separation takes place, partial positive charge on hydrogen and partial negative charge on oxygen and partial positive charge on hydrogen. So there exists an hydrogen bonding. What is hydrogen bonding? It's an electrostatic force of attraction between the more electronegative atom and hydrogen. Okay, this is we call hydrogen bonding. What is this? This is we call as hydrogen bonding. So because of the hydrogen bonding, the lower members of aldehydes and ketones such as formaldehyde, ethanol, acetone will dissolve in water due to the formation of hydrogen bonding. But as the number of carbons increases in the aldehydes and ketones, the solubility of aldehydes and ketones in water decreases. Why? See, actually what happens whenever you are talking about, so for example, let us take a formaldehyde. The formula of formaldehyde is, it contains only one carbon. If you are talking about acetaldehyde, it contains 2 carbons. If you are talking about propanaldehyde, it contains 3 carbons. If you are talking about butyraldehyde, it contains 4 carbons. It goes like this. If you take, now see, The solubility is because of the carbonyl group. Okay, there are two parts in this particular. If you observe all these compounds, in all these compounds, what is remaining constant? The aldehyde group is remaining constant. It is only one group. Okay, but this hydrocarbon side chain is an hydrophobic region. There are two parts. From ear to ear, this is hydrophobic and this is hydrophilic. Okay, this will try to dissolve in water, but this will try to hate the water. As the number of carbons increases, the hydrophobic nature of the compound increases. So because of that, what happens? Gradually the solubility of a compound increases with increase in the number of carbons. So what we can say, higher members will be gradually insoluble in water. But aldehydes and ketones are fairly soluble in organic solvents such as benzene, carbon tetrachloride, etc. And if you are talking about the next property, that is density of aldehydes and ketones. Aldehydes and ketones are less denser than water. When you compare with the water, the density of aldehydes and ketones is very less. And the fifth property is that odor. What is mean by odor? Smell. Okay, if you are talking about the odor of aldehydes and ketones, the lower members means the first few members of the family. Lower members of aldehydes and ketones are having pungent smell. What is mean by pungent smell? Pungent smell means unpleasant smell, which means unpleasant smell, right? But higher members of the family of aldehydes and ketones are having pleasant smell, pleasant odor. Because of this reason, they are used as fragrance and flavor giving substances. Right? Lower members of the family of aldehydes and ketones are having pungent smell. Pungent smell means unpleasant smell, whereas higher members of the family are having pleasant smell. Because of that reason, they are used as a fragrances as well as a flavor giving substances in various food making substances and other perfumes like sort of things. These are some of the physical properties of aldehydes and ketones. Okay, let us see an example. This is an unsolved in-text question given based on the physical property. Arrange the following according to increasing order of boiling point, and the given options are, you are given with the acetaldehyde, right? You are given with the propane, and you are given with the dimethyl ether, and you are given with ethyl alcohol. So what is the general increasing order of boiling point? Okay, what are the molecules given? This is acetaldehyde, this is an aldehyde, acetaldehyde, and this is a propane, it is hydrocarbon, and this is a dimethyl ether, this is ether. If you remember, I just wrote the order of increasing order of boiling point. This is ethyl alcohol. What is this? Ethyl alcohol. So what will be the increasing order? Increasing order of boiling point will be increasing order of boiling point. This is the unsolved in-text question given on the textbook. Will be hydrocarbons are found to be least, that is propane, followed by what is this? Ether, that is the dimethyl ether, followed by what is this? Acetaldehyde, that is aldehyde, and followed by ethyl alcohol. This is the increasing order of boiling point of given compounds. Okay, this is about the physical properties of aldehydes and ketones. Hope it is clear so far. Okay, if you want, you can take a screenshot and make a notes of it, because most of the points, some of the points are not included in the textbook that I have given you. Now this makes the completion of physical properties, and we will move to the chemical properties. This is a very important aspect of this particular chapter, that is the chemical properties of aldehydes and ketones are having much importance in terms of board examination as well as in the competitive point of view. We are not going to see the competitive point of view, but we are going to see the important things regarding the board aspect. Now we will see the chemical properties. Chemical properties of aldehydes and ketones. Aldehydes and ketones. Right? What is common between the aldehydes and ketones? What is the general formula of aldehyde? General formula of aldehyde is RC double bond OH. And what is the general formula of ketone? RC double bond OR. This is we say aldehyde, and this is we say ketone. What is common among these two? The common thing is between these two is that this carbonyl group is common. What is common here? Carbonyl group is common. So as I said, the chemical properties of any family will basically depends upon its nature of function group. If the function group remains same, the nature of chemical property will remain same. So due to the, what is the major difference? Here the aldehyde will be attached to one hydrogen at least, whereas ketone will be attached to both alkyl group. There will be no hydrogen, but mostly these carbonyl groups remain same in both aldehydes and ketones. So from this what we can conclude, the nature of function group between the aldehydes and ketones mostly remains same. Because of that reason, the chemical properties of aldehydes and ketones are mostly similar. Okay, what is the conclusion here? Due to the presence of carbonyl group of similar nature in aldehydes and ketones, the chemical properties of aldehydes and ketones are similar. I said similar, not same. There is a difference between the being similar as well as being same. Okay, they are similar, they are not same. Right? Now basically let us see what are the important chemical reaction that they undergo. Aldehydes and ketones mainly undergo following chemical reactions or following chemical changes. Right? The first one we say, the first one is called as, they mainly undergo nucleophilic addition reactions. Okay, they'll also undergo reduction reactions and oxidation reactions. They'll also undergo reactions due to alpha hydrogen. And the fifth one is miscellaneous reactions. Miscellaneous reaction means some other type of reactions. Okay, what is the fifth type? Miscellaneous reactions, or we say other type of reactions, that are such as electrophilic substitution on aromatic ring. What we call aromatic carbonyl compounds. We simply say electrophilic substitution reactions of aromatic aldehydes and ketones. These are included in textbooks. These are included under other reactions. Mainly, we are in this chapter we are going to discuss about these 5 types of reactions, that is nucleophilic addition reactions. This is very important for us, as well as these oxidation reactions also very important. All of them are important as they have given in the textbook, and we are going to discuss them one by one. We will see one by one. Right. What is the first type of reaction? That is, the first type of reaction is what? Nucleophilic nucleophilic addition reaction. Nucleophilic addition reactions. Nucleophilic addition reactions. Hope you know the difference between the nucleophilic addition as well as nucleophilic substitution. Particularly these cardinal compounds undergoes nucleophilic addition reaction. In halogen derivatives, you might have studied that they will undergo nucleophilic substitution reaction, SN1 and SN2, but these are undergo nucleophilic addition reaction. Okay, so basically the compounds which are having multiple bonds, compounds which are having double bond, triple bond will undergo addition reactions. In the first PU chemistry, you have studied alkenes and alkynes. Under the properties of alkenes, you have studied that alkenes contains a double bond between carbon and carbon. So because of that double bond, the main properties, the main chemical reactions of alkenes are found to be addition reactions. But the addition reactions that alkenes undergo will be different from the addition reactions that these carbonyl compounds undergoes. Okay, so basically, what is the conclusion? Which compounds basically undergoes addition reactions? The compounds which are having unsaturated bonds, that is multiple bonds, will undergo addition reaction based on the nature of the atoms in between the multiple bond is present. Okay, it can be either nucleophilic addition or it can be either electrophilic addition. What is the difference between the nucleophilic addition and electrophilic addition? If you know what is mean by a nucleophile and what is mean by an electrophile, you will understand the difference between the nucleophilic addition as well as the electrophilic addition. I will try to explain the difference. Basically, let me write the conclusion first. What is the conclusion here? In contrast to the electrophilic addition, I am always going for the substitution, it is addition. Electrophilic addition of alkenes, the aldehydes and ketones undergo nucleophilic addition. The difference is that in case of alkenes, the double bond is present between carbon and carbon. Okay, so it behaves as a nucleophilic in nature. Because of that reason, this will be attacked by an electrophile. It will be attacked by an electrophile according to the Markovnikov rule. Okay, suppose if the attacking takes place on this particular carbon, it gets a positive charge. It will get, right? If this bond is given to this and it will, this is what we call it as, this is electrophilic addition reactions. But here, what is the case? If you look at the carbonyl compound, either it can be aldehyde or it can be ketone. Okay, suppose if it is one of the hydrogen is there, that will be considered as aldehyde. If both are alkyl group, that will be considered as ketone. This is carbonyl group. Basically, in carbonyl group, what happens? Here it will be nucleophilic in nature. I can write this carbonyl group as, how I can write? Here I can write it is this negative charge and this is positive charge. Because of the more electronegativity, what is happening here? Here, basically what happens? This will undergo nucleophilic reaction. Okay, it abstracts a nucleophile. Because of the, what is this? Electrophilic nature of carbonyl carbon. Okay, here this is the carbonyl carbon which is electrophilic in nature, and this is a carbonyl oxygen which is nucleophilic in nature. Because of the electrophilic nature of the carbonyl carbon, basically what happens, they'll undergo nucleophilic addition. If the addition is initiated by nucleophile, we call that addition as nucleophilic addition. If the addition is initiated by electrophile, then we call it as electrophilic addition. And what is mean by electrophile? The electron deficient species is said to be electrophile. The one which loves electrons will be called as electrophile. Which will love the electrons? The one which is electron deficient. So if the addition is initiated by electrophile, we call it as electrophilic addition, and if the addition is initiated by nucleophile, what is mean by nucleophile? Electron rich species, then it will be called as nucleophilic substitution. Basically, what is the important thing here is that it will be considered as nucleophilic addition because it is being initiated by the nucleophile. If you look at this clearly, this is we call nucleophilic addition. Let me explain the mechanism involved in this a bit clearly. Let me take a carbonyl group, okay, which is attached to two groups A and B in this manner, okay. So here what happens, here this is partially positive in charge, this is partially negative in charge, okay. And whenever you treat with any reagent, the first reagent means which is reactive in nature, okay, the nucleophilic part of the reagent will attack on the carbonyl carbon, okay. So here this entire group, since what is the hybridization of carbon here? The hybridization of carbon is sp2, so the entire molecule is in planar in nature. All the three bonds will be in the same plane. So this nucleophile will make an attack approximately perpendicular to the plane. What is mean by this? Suppose if this carbonyl group is in the plane of a board, either this nucleophile will attack from the back side or from the front side, exactly perpendicular. Suppose assume that this is a carbonyl group with the three bonds. This nucleophile either approach from the top or from the bottom, approximately perpendicular. What is the reason for the nucleophilic attack? Because of the electrophilic carbon. Okay, this carbon with a positive charge is called as electrophilic in nature. This electrophilic carbon will attract the nucleophile. By that what happens? When this negative charge of the nucleophile is given to the carbonyl carbon, this 5 bond will be migrated over to the oxygen. By that it results in the formation of an alkoxide intermediate. When this 5 bond gets migrate onto the oxygen, it gets a negative charge, and these two bonds remains same. Okay, now the important thing to be noted down that here the carbon is in sp2 hybridization, but here it is in sp3 hybridization. Okay, this is tetrahedral alkoxide intermediate. What is this? Intermediate. Now this is the first step in the nucleophilic addition. This is the slowest step. Slow step we call it as. It is also reversible and slow step. In the next step what happens, this alkoxide intermediate will abstract a proton and it will form corresponding nucleophilic addition product. This is the mechanism. This is the first step, okay, and second step. Basically the main reactions of the carbonyl compounds are nucleophilic addition reactions. Okay, what is the reason for the nucleophilic addition reactions? In carbonyl compounds there is a double bond between carbon and oxygen, and we know that the oxygen is more electronegative than the carbon. Because of that reason what happens, this carbonyl carbon behaves as, this is electrophilic in nature. Carbonyl carbon is electrophilic in nature, and whereas oxygen is what? Nucleophilic in nature. So because of the positive charge on the carbonyl carbon, it attracts the negative part of the reagent. So we, as the addition is being initiated by the nucleophile, we call it as a nucleophilic addition reaction. During the nucleophilic addition what happens? Okay, basically the nucleophile approaches. Before the nucleophilic addition, the hybridization of the carbonyl carbon is sp2. Because of that the geometry of the carbonyl group is planar. All the three bonds are in the same plane, and what happens here, the nucleophile approaches perpendicular to the plane, okay, in which the carbonyl group is present, either from the top direction or from the bottom direction. And as a result of nucleophilic addition, the carbonyl group, the hybridization of the carbonyl group gets converted into sp3, and it forms an tetrahedral alkoxide intermediate, and this tetrahedral alkoxide intermediate on obstruction of a proton gets converted into, this is the nucleophilic addition product. What is this? Nucleophilic addition product we call it as. Okay, so what are the main aspects of this nucleophilic addition? Okay, the hybridization of carbonyl carbon changes from sp2 to sp3, right? And nucleophile approaches perpendicular to the plane of carbonyl carbon, and what it forms? It forms tetrahedral. Okay, sp3 hybridized. What is this? sp3 hybridized tetrahedral alkoxide intermediate. This is the first step, and this is the slowest step, and we also say rate determining step. And in the next step, this alkoxide intermediate will obstruct a proton, and that will lead to the formation of nucleophilic addition product. Hope the mechanism of nucleophilic addition is clear so far. Okay, we'll see the extent of reactivity of aldehydes and ketones. Right? If you are talking about the relative reactivity of aldehydes and ketones towards nucleophilic addition. Basically, towards the nucleophilic addition, both aldehydes and ketones will undergo nucleophilic addition because of the carbonyl group, but the extent of reactivity of aldehydes and ketones will be different towards the nucleophilic addition. We can conclude that aldehydes are more reactive than ketones towards nucleophilic addition due to steric and electronic reasons. Let us see what is meant by this. The first thing is that if you are talking about the order of reactivity, aldehydes are more reactive than the ketones. What are the reasons? The first reason is steric reason. Let us see what is meant by the steric reason. Steric reason is that if you compare the structure of aldehydes and ketones, see, this is aldehyde and this is ketone. Ketone is attached to two bulky alkyl groups, whereas aldehyde is attached to only one aldehyde. So this presence of two bulky alkyl groups, presence of two alkyl groups sterically hinders the approach of nucleophile. Basically, approaching of nucleophile to the ketone is difficult when compared with the approach of nucleophile to the aldehydes. Here hydrogen is a smaller atom, nucleophile can easily come and leave, but whereas here, because of the two larger groups, the size of alkyl group is always larger than the hydrogen. Because of the presence of two bulky alkyl groups, there will be sterically congestedness, so that the nucleophile can't approach easily. Okay, and the second reason is that electronic reason or electronic factor, we can say electronic effect, we can say this is steric effect and this is electronic effect. If you are talking about the rate of nucleophilic addition will depend upon the extent of positive charge on the carbonyl top, carbon. Here it is partially positive, this is partially positive, and this is partially negative. But we know that the alkyl group is donating in nature. Because of the donating nature of alkyl group, okay, alkyl group is what? Electron donating in nature. Alkyl groups are electron donating. Okay, presence of two alkyl groups decreases electrophilic nature of carbonyl carbon. Electrophilic nature of carbonyl carbon. Okay, here there is only one donating group. Greater the positive charge on the carbon, greater will be the rate of nucleophilic addition. Okay, due to the presence of two electron donating groups on the ketone, so the extent of positive charge will decreases. If the extent of positive charge decreases, rate of nucleophilic addition will decreases. Rate of nucleophilic addition is directly proportional to what? Rate of nucleophilic addition is directly proportional to, okay, extent of okay, positive charge on carbonyl carbon. Okay, since alkyl groups are electron donating in nature, they reduces the extent of positive charge on the carbonyl carbon of ketone, so that the rate of reactivity of ketones towards the nucleophilic addition will be less than the rate of nucleophilic addition of aldehydes. So what is the order of reactivity? Order of reactivity of aldehydes. I will write increasing order of reactivity of aldehydes and ketones. Let us see. Important. This is a very important one. Aliphatic aldehydes. Aliphatic aldehydes are more reactive than aromatic aldehydes. Here I am writing the, make a change. We will write the decreasing order. I am writing the decreasing order of reactivity of aldehydes and ketones towards the nucleophilic addition. Aromatic aldehydes followed by aliphatic ketones, followed by aromatic ketones. This is the decreasing order of reactivity of aldehydes and ketones towards what it is? Towards nucleophilic addition. What is mean by this? If I ask the, suppose let us take an example, let us take the formaldehyde and let us take the acetaldehyde, let me take the benzaldehyde and let me take the acetone. If I ask what will be the rate of reaction of these three compounds towards the nucleophilic addition, you have to follow this order. Which will be the more reactive? Formaldehyde will be the more reactive, followed by benzaldehyde, followed by acetone. This is the decreasing order of reactivity of formaldehyde, benzaldehyde and acetone. Why aliphatic aldehydes are more reactive than aromatic aldehydes? In case of aromatic aldehydes, if you compare the formaldehyde and benzaldehyde, here due to the resonance, what happens? The extent of positive charge on carbonyl carbon in aromatic compounds will be less when you compare with the aliphatic. Here because of the resonance, what happens? This partial positive charge get disperses. Due to the dispersion of the charge, what happens? Extent of the positive charge on aldehydic carbon will decreases. So what is a general simple conclusion is that this is the order of reactivity of aldehydes and ketones towards the nucleophilic addition. What is the order? Aliphatic aldehydes are more reactive than aromatic aldehydes, followed by aliphatic ketones and followed by aromatic ketones. Try to remember this order. Hope it is clear so far. Remaining we will continue in the next class. Thank you.